Greetings, everyone. Welcome to my sketchbook. Well, where I am was kind of the first snowfall, which is not the worst thing because it's kind of coming up on that time of year. So, what does this mean? Well, I'm thinking about creatures that might wonder what the snow is all about. I don't know. Let's see what we can come up with and then just kind of go from there. So, I'm going to have it so that this creature kind of has large eyes, just like this. We're going to be kind of looking off to one side a little bit. Maybe like a little tiny nose, but not too tiny. Maybe we're smiley too, because I think that's kind of fun. But I wonder about putting like a little nose like this. What if this was kind of like, I don't know, let's say not like a squirrel, but kind of like a creature that we haven't really seen before. Some kind of a woodland creature. Give it kind of that same kind of split in the lip, just for fun. I'm going to try to make up something as I go. But mind you, everything that I kind of make up, I kind of see inside my head, and maybe I've seen different versions of it before. That kind of happens. I'm not copying anything in particular. I think what I'm kind of saying is you get inspired by things. I know nowadays it's pretty easy for someone to sit down and say, oh, well, I can give prompts to some sort of artificial intelligence. And I can say, well, I'd like it to have this look or that look. Maybe that would remind me of a little bit of this kind of animation or this thing from real life. Artificial intelligence is such a strange thing because it compiles much the same way as human beings do, but it doesn't. It's difficult for me to talk about this kind of stuff because it's created by people, and then whatever the art is that it takes a little bit from people. I'm not really that impressed by certain things that technology does, and I'll admit, someone actually, well, they sent me some music that was like AI covers, and had I not known that it was AI covers, I'd have been like kind of impressed by it because you get to hear a different style than the original. And I've always liked covers. But whatever they're doing now, they're finding ways of uh, taking voices that are familiar and getting them to perform songs that are not their own. And that's a strange thing to do. So I don't really like AI for that reason. Now, what kind of eyes do I want to go with here? Well, I already said that I want them to be larger. I'll figure that out in a moment. I think what I'd like to do, maybe go with kind of smaller ears rather than like pointy Ooh, you know what? Let's let's change something about this. I'm not going to put the ears there. I'm going to move them up here. Which is sort of my prerogative if I wish to do such a thing. I'm the person with the pen after all. So we're going to change the location. Hmm. What I'm doing now is trying to figure out how I can make a winter hat. The ears sticking out. Will hide the place where once I thought I was going to put ears. Winter is a wonderful time of year, and it can be very difficult for some people as well, though. If you're in a place where seasons change, you have to dress for the climate. You need to be warm when it's cold outside, and sometimes you need to feel, well, cool when it's hot outside. That's a strange thing, but it's necessary. We kind of aim towards comfort. Growing up, I don't think we had air conditioning unless we visited certain people. But growing up, I don't really remember there being days that were so hot. I mean, I do remember being kind of uncomfortable sometimes, certain nights. And same goes in the wintertime. But now I have air conditioning. Now I have, like, a heat pump and different forms of electricity, powered things. And you can get, let me think. What's going on here? What else do I need to do with this creature? Well, what should we be doing? What if I made this smile just a little bit bigger? Could we be riding a toboggan, maybe? That would be interesting. Okay, well, let's try that. Probably going to have, like, well, if this was a fast moving toboggan, I guess I would have had this hat kind of moving off in one direction. So I don't know if that's a good idea now, because if you're moving fast, this pom pom would be like flying straight backwards. Hmm. Snowball. Let us set this up for a snowball. We're going to throw one, maybe. We're prepping for it anyway. And maybe I'll put a scarf. I'm not sure yet. Remember, this isn't a human, let's say. This is a kind of a creature, a woodland creature, but what kind of, yeah, I don't know. I'm just making up stuff as I go. But maybe they're regular size. So the size of a child, maybe. Or maybe this is just imagination, that we're pretending that we're wild creatures. That's kind of fun, too. That can happen. So here is when we will have some ties. As if there's a hood back here, you see? I remember having a jacket. I think it was a hand me down. It had to be a hand me down because I didn't really get new stuff too often. And my brother uh, would have once in a while got some pretty neat new stuff. And then I would get the hand me downs. It just kind of occurred to me. I mean, yeah, it would have been washed, but I remember chewing on these strings, and I wonder if he did the same. I'm going to say he probably did. I wonder if there was a time when I put one of those things in my mouth, and if the jacket wasn't washed properly, maybe it would taste like grape gum. Well, I'll have to think about that one. Thanks a lot for your chewed on drawstring cord, pal. Anyway, sometimes when you're a little brother who gets hand me downs, you just have to deal with whatever you're going to get. And that's just how it goes. But you could still be wild if you needed to be wild. Here, we have collected a goodly pile for our snowball fight, let's say. And oh my, we are getting, well, I don't want to call it revenge, but instead let's call it like an advantage point. Yeah, that's it. We have a couple of snowballs here. No matter what happened outside during this point, though, you still had to go back inside, so you couldn't really just, you know, go to war because, your opponent, your sibling, lives in the same house. So you just couldn't have too much ridiculousness going on. Now, let's back this out just a little bit for our wild creature. Dip the pen. Maybe we can get that to sort of, yeah. Now, this snowsuit is awesome because it is a true one piece built-in snow pants. Oh yeah. But the greatest thing, we're going to back this out a little bit further now. And then we'll go back in for kind of a close-up on the face after. We are going to have the coolest boots. Moon boots of some kind. We're going to have one foot turned in towards the center a little bit because we're really going to get some real deal sort of leverage power going on here. Oh yeah. The boots would go super high. We're squishing in the snow. Back here, there would be like a drawstring because it would be gosseted at the top. Kind of like an inner sleeve of sorts that could tuck in underneath the knee. It'd be kind of an elastic thing with a spring-loaded sort of cinch. I'm not sure what that thing would be called, but you would pull through that. You'd press down on this little like button and be spring on the inside, and then when you let it go, it would hold the string in place. I'm sure there's a name for that. Back here, we're going to have the other boot just kind of a little more face on. Of course, it'll be gosseted as well. Oh yeah. It's going to have that weird design on it too. Actually, let's zoom in on this face. Because we're built for this battle. Got some wild eyes here. Also, today when I was out and about, I got to see the first snowman, which was really cool. Had a real deal carrot nose, which is awesome. I think it had stones that made up its buttons and smile. So I don't know where this creature came from inside my head. It happens like this. Let's see here. Get a look at these boots once again. Have it so that perhaps a shift in position happened. Move some of the snow around. Interesting. Kind of move this around a little bit more. And of course, we can say what's going on. Right here we can say of the, and then here we don't have to be too fancy. There you go. Nothing too complicated. So if at all possible, get outside, play, if at all possible. Do your best to move as much as you can. If you need help to do a couple of things, that's fine. It's good to ask. I think that's going to be it. Nothing too complicated. Just kind of a doodle that just, I don't know, just kind of fell out of my head. Doesn't have to be too complicated. And it is a woodland creature of some sort, after all. I'm not really sure what kind of a creature this is. But that little nose, those little ears. Beyond that. All right, folks. Well, a little more than 25 minutes for this sort of silly little drawing, but I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for hanging out. And if you haven't been here before, well, come back again. You can subscribe and like and comment and share and all that kind of stuff. And if you comment or have a funny request, well, I might be able to, just for fun, draw something. Let me know. I hope you have a great day. All right. Ciao for now.